The following is a class on the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 7, text number 10, given by His Grace Sriman Sankarshan Das Adhikari, recorded on May 17th, 2012, in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bijamam sarvabhutanam. Jamam sarvabhutanam vidhi parata sanatanam vidhi parata sanatanam buddhir buddhi matam asmi buddhir buddhi matam asmi tejas tejas vinam aham tejas tejas vinam aham. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. O son of Pritha, know that I am the original seed of all existence, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of the powerful men, of all powerful men. Purport. Bijam means seed. Krishna is the seed of everything. And there are various living entities, movable and inert. Birds, beasts, men, and many other living creatures are moving living entities. Trees and plants, however, are inert. They cannot move, but only stand. Every living entity is contained within the scope of 8,400,000 species of life. Some of them are moving and some of them are inert. In all cases, however, the seed of their life is Krishna. As stated in Vedic literature, Brahman, or the Supreme Absolute Truth, is that from which everything is emanating. Krishna is Para-Brahman, the Supreme Spirit. Brahman is impersonal and Para-Brahman is personal. Impersonal Brahman is situated in the personal aspect. That is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, originally Krishna is the source of everything. He is the root. As the root of a tree maintains the whole tree, Krishna, being the original root of all things, maintains everything in this material manifestation. This is also confirmed in the Vedic literature, Katha Upanishad 2.2.13, Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. He is the prime eternal among all eternals. He is the supreme living entity of all living entities, and He alone is maintaining all life. One cannot do anything without intelligence, and Krishna also says that He is the root of all intelligence. Unless a person is intelligent, he cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Bharakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Vitam Dam Sajiva Sadaiva Advaitam Vadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakandritam So Prabhupada is explaining that unless a person is intelligent, he cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So, if I'm an unintelligent fool, what is my hope? If I'm an unintelligent fool, how will I understand Krishna? Lord Chaitanya's spiritual master chastised them, "You are an unintelligent fool. You cannot understand Vedanta. Therefore, better just chant Hare Krishna." So that is great encouragement for us. Even though we are unintelligent fools, you see. We can chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. That gives us some hope. You see. So, what is the result of chanting Hare Krishna? If one chants Hare Krishna carefully, avoiding the 10 offenses, then one gets intelligent. That's a fact. You get good brain. Actually, the intelligence is already there. That is Krishna himself, you see. Tesham tatata yogdanam vajatam pratipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yenamam mukpayantite. For those who are constantly devoted and worship me with love, I give them the intelligence. By which they can understand me. So Krishna is sitting there. He's ready to give us all intelligence. You simply have to be devoted. But that's another problem. We are not devoted to Krishna. We are devoted to serving our senses. But we're not very devoted to serving Krishna. That is the problem. So how to get out of this problem? What does the diseased man do? He goes to a doctor, a physician. "My dear doctor, I'm sick. Please give me some medicine." So, if we are sick, we are in a diseased state. We are suffering of a disease called Bhava Rog, the repetition of birth and death. So if we go to the bona fide physician, the bona fide guru, as instructed in the Srimad Bhagavatam, 11th canto, chapter 3, text 21, Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jigyashu Shraya Uttamam. If you want that ultimate benefit, if you want to be revived in your intelligence, then you must take shelter of the bona fide spiritual master. by initiation. Well, how do I recognize a bona fide spiritual master? Second half of the verse answers that question. Shabde paret nishnatang brahmani upashamashriyam. The bona fide spiritual master has realized the conclusions of the revealed scriptures by deliberation. And he can convince others of those conclusions. Such great souls who have taken complete shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, laying aside all material considerations, are to be understood as bona fide spiritual masters. So, in our sick condition, simply we have to approach the bona fide spiritual master, take shelter of him, become initiated by him, and then under his guidance and expert direction, we will be cured of our diseased state of consciousness. We will come out of the darkness of illusion. We will be blessed with transcendental knowledge. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was in the darkness of ignorance, suffering like anything in the repetition of birth and death. But the spiritual master came to me with a shining lamp of that shining torchlight of knowledge, Vedic wisdom. And now he is forcing my eyes open. Just like the horse, he doesn't like to take the pill. Two men, they would grab the horse's mouth and they'll cram the medicine down the throat. So sometimes we have to do that. We have to cram the medicine down the throat. Even though you don't want to hear it, we have to cram it down your throat. And we cram it in the ears. But we put some nice candy coating on it. So it tastes good. You like it. But who wants to hear that they're a fool and a rascal? If I tell you you're a fool and a rascal, would you like it? So we have to tell you you're a fool and rascal. We have to point out to you, you're a nut. You're a complete idiot. We have to tell them that's the way you will like it. That is an art that is called preaching. We tell you you're a fool or rascal, and you say, "Oh, thank you very much." This was Prabhupada's expertise, you see. He could chastise us like anything, and we would love it. It was so relishable to be chastised by Prabhupada. Even if it was so heavy, sometime you'd be shaking like a leaf. Devotees would be shaking like a leaf. They'd be so heavy, the Prabhupada's chastisement. But they loved it because they could see it was just pure mercy coming from Prabhupada. So that it is actually pure mercy. This enlightening knowledge coming to the parampara system, it is pure mercy. And if we take it submissively through the ears into the heart, deep, deep, deep into the heart, and that will be the wonderful result. Premanjanacharita bhakti velochanena santaksadaiva hridayeshu velokayanti yang shama shundaramachit yoganasva rupam govindamadi purusham tamaham vajami. That will be the result. You will see Krishna. Wow. Just imagine being able to see Krishna with your own two eyes, you see. That's what's there. If you take this process very seriously, you will see God. Not just once, you will see God at every minute. That is the fruit of the bhakti path. The Mayavadis, they want to become God. We're not very interested in becoming God. The Vaishnavas become greater than God. They can chastise God. Actually, I was hearing a lecture, Prabhupada is explaining that Krishna is always being glorified. Oh, you're the Supreme, I bow down at your feet, I worship you. Prabhupada said sometimes Krishna becomes disgusted.
В една лекция Шрила Прабхупад каза, че Кришна непрекъснато е възхваляван, о, ти си върховният, толкова си велик, и в един момент на Кришна вече му описва и се отвръщава.
He's so much being worshipped. The lecture he gave in Los Angeles, I'm hearing it now on my iPhone. It's a very nice lecture. Prabhupada is saying that Krishna actually becomes disgusted. He's being so much worshipped and glorified.
Кришна вече му е писнал и се отвратил от това толкова да го възхваляват и да го обожават.
What he likes, that he especially likes, is a devotee who can chastise him.
Особено му харесва предан отдаден, който му се кара.
Krishna likes that very much, you see.
Кришна харесва това отношение много.
Like Mother Jasoda, you see, Krishna relishes like anything being chastised by his pure devotee.
Както, например, майка Яшода, Кришна страшно много му харесва да бъде наказван от своя чист предан.
So, do you think, okay, now I will chastise God?
Сега вие дали си помислите, сега почвам да се карам на Бога и да го наказвам.
Don't think like that. We're not qualified to chastise God. You see, don't try to jump to this artificial position and liberated position before you're qualified. That is called sahajism. That I would like to have a certain rasa with Krishna. So I will meditate on that rasa and enter into it now. Actually, one foolish devotee, he was preaching that way at the Sunday feast. I was shocked. I heard a tape. He was telling everyone to pick your rasa. Pick what rasa you would like in the spiritual. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. He was telling the devotees and the guests to pick their rasa.
Всъщност един глупав предан отден, аз слушах запис на един неделен фист, той проповядвал на гостите и на предан отданите и им казва да си изберат каква раса искат да имат.
I had to report him to the GBC and they got on his case big time for doing that.
Аз трябваше да докладвам на GBC и те така се взеха със случайно.
And then he said, oh, I didn't really mean it. It just came out of my mouth.
Той се оправдал и казал, аз не го казах.
See, we're not in a position now to jump to the liberated position. That's called Raganuga Bhakti or Raga Bhakti. That comes after the Asakti stage. There's many steps given by Rupa Goswami. The first step is Shraddha or faith. That is called preliminary faith. Then there is sadhu sangha. one associates with devotees. Then there is bhajana kriya. That's when you get initiated and you follow strictly the rules and regulations. Chanting 16 rounds every day without fail. Strictly avoiding illicit sex, meeting, intoxication, and gambling. And if you're a householder, that means sex once in a month when you want to have a child after chanting 50 rounds, otherwise brahmachari.
Означава веднъж месечно, само когато искате да имате дете, след като сте повтаряли 50 кръга. Иначе трябва да сте брахмачари.
So if one follows strictly the 16 rounds and the 4 regular principles, then you move into what's called a nartanavritti, where you become cleansed of all the dirt in your heart.
Когато възприемате 16 кръга и следвате регулиращите принципи стриктно, стигате до нивото на нартанаврити.
And then you achieve a stage called nishta, when you become free from passion and ignorance, and you're fully situated in the mode of goodness.
Когато всичко нежелано се изчиства от сърцето и вие достигате нивото на нища, което е устойчивост.
And then you progress higher to the ruchi stage, where you derive unlimited taste from chanting Hare Krishna.
И след това стигате нивото на ручи, когато изпитвате безграничен вкус към върховенството.
You can relish kirtan 24 hours a day with non-stop. Even if the kirtan leader can't sing a tune and the drum is completely off the beat, you'll still relish it. Even if musically it's horrible. Someone in the ruchi stage can relish it, even if it's completely out of tune and completely off the beat. There's one thing if you have a really good kirtan leader, who has a velvet voice, really sweet velveteen voice. That's one thing. But if you have someone, if the kirtan leader is like a croaking toad and he's completely out of tune, then it's harder to relish it. Unless you're on the ruchi stage. On the ruchi stage, it doesn't matter on tune, off tune. It's Krishna's name. That's all you need. You see, that's the ruchi stage. And then beyond that, the asakti stage. You become completely, totally attached to Krishna. There's no attachment to anything else. Prabhupada explains this is the beginning of pure love of God at the asakti stage. It then turns into bhav as the emotions arise within the heart. It's at the asakti stage that the pastimes of Krishna spontaneously appear in your heart, and you actually realize what is your eternal identity in Krishna's pastimes.
На Кришна спонтанно се проявяват в сърцето и вие осъзнавате самоличността си в забавлението.
Some devotees have been preaching that you should jump there now,
Някои преданни проповядват, че трябва още сега да
realize your rasa now, go for it.
Да реализираме своята раса сега, давайте.
But wait a minute, you're still in the budget, you're still down there in an nartanavritti trying to clean all the lust, greed and anger out of your heart.
Чакайте, вие сте още на нивото на нартанаврити, като се опитвате да се пречистват всички нежелани неща.
You can't jump to a sakti from a nartanavritti. For example, let's say you're in the hospital, you're very sick in the hospital. And what's your favorite dessert? Ice cream and cake. Yeah, I love that ice cream and cake. So the doctor says, no ice cream and cake right now, because you're sick. You get, soup and, steamed vegetables, and that's it. Nothing else but soup and steamed vegetables. With no salt, no pepper, and no butter. And you think, I can't handle this diet, and then you have some friend smuggle some ice cream and cake into the hospital room. you see.
И ти кажеш, не мога да търпя тази диета и някакви приятели ти носят сладолети
So as a result, you die. It kills you. Now, if you had patiently followed the doctor's order,
Ако обаче бяхте следвали търпеливо,
you would have recovered.
доктора ще да се възстановите.
You could have had your ice cream and cake.
Ще си ядете тогава сладоледи.
Because you were impatient, you wanted to have it immediately.
Но понеже сте нетърпеливи, искате веднага да имате.
Now, instead of in the hospital,
Сега вместо в болницата,
you're in a coffin.
се намирате в ковчег.
So the moral of the story is, don't try to jump to your rasa. Just there was a group in Los Angeles temple. They wanted to do this rasa jump. They were called the Gopi Baba Club. So one morning, Prabhupada was taking his breakfast in the LA temple, in his quarters. He had a nice fruit platter there, you see. And he picked up a piece of food. He was about ready to stick it in his mouth, you see. And then Prajamna came in and told Prabhupada about this Gopi Baba Club. Prabhupada was so angry. That piece of fruit never made it to his mouth. He put it down on the plate. He said, call the GBC. Call the temple president. And call the leaders of this group. And he smashed them. He was so angry what they were doing. He smashed them. That we want to desire, our rasa. Prabhupada said, first deserve, then desire. He said, for now, you simply do whatever service you are given. That's it. And that the head of that group blooped. That's how much he was surrendered to Prabhupada. After he got corrected by Prabhupada, he left the movement. So, this idea of you can jump to your rasa is bogus. I don't like Vaidhi. I think I'll go to Raganuga. Who wants to follow all these rules and regulations? I'm just going to imagine now I'm a gopi girl, you see, in Krishna's leelas. No. You follow the pathway as it is given by Srila Prabhupada. You take it step by step, and then you will realize everything in due course. Your eternal identity in Krishna's pastimes, everything will be revealed to you. You simply have to carefully follow it step by step under the guidance of the bona fide spiritual master. The whole spiritual world is waiting for you. You're not a Bulgarian. You're a Goloka Vrindavian. So chant Hare Krishna. Follow the orders of the spiritual master. Follow the orders of your ISKCON leaders. And be happy. Relish the bliss, Prabhu. Relish the bliss, Mataji. Go for the nectar. It's all there in Krishna's name. Everything that you could ever desire is all right there in Krishna's name. You can have all of your desires fulfilled right there in Krishna's name. Atakshi Krishna Namadi Nabhavedgrayam Indriyai Stevan Muke Jivado Svayam Evas Paratyadaha. No one can understand the transcendental name, fame, forms, pastimes, etc. of the Supreme Lord with his blunt, materially contaminated senses.
Никой не би могъл да разбере името, формата, качествата и забавленията на Върховния Бог с притъпените си материални сетива.
But when one becomes Krishnized or spiritually saturated by engaging in the process of devotional service, beginning with the tongue, then everything becomes revealed. Why does Rupa Goswami say Nam Adi instead of Rup Adi or Lila Adi? Why is the name given preference over the form or the pastimes? Because that is the system in this yuga. Haranama, 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 Eva Kevalam, Kalona, Steva, Nasteva, Nasteva, Gatiranyata. That is the system in this age. How do you log on to the Krishna net? Through the name, that's how you log in to the Krishna net. Not through the pastimes or the forms, especially, but especially through the name. Those come automatically. When you connect with the name, then automatically you're connected with the forms of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, etc. But primary emphasis is given to the name in this age.
Свържете ли се с името, тогава вие се свързвате и с формата и забавленията, но най-важно е с името в тази епоха.
So I can ask now if there's any questions.
Как се приема подсъмното духовно учително? Как на практика той се грижи за учениците? В ведическите времена ние знаем, че това става чрез живеене в ашрама духовно учител. В днешно време ние се виждаме два пъти в годината. Как практически става това обучение в Кришна съзнание посредством духовно учител.
How does one practically take shelter of the bona fide spiritual master nowadays? Because we know in Vedic times the student, the disciple goes to the Gurukul and then there he is educated. But nowadays it's difficult because we see each other 1 or 2 times a year. How does one practically take shelter of it?
In this age, the spiritual master, in the old days, there was the village guru, and you would go and take shelter by initiation of the village guru. So it's very easy. You regularly hear him every day. You follow his instructions every day. So how do you do it now when there's a global village and the guru is wandering all over the planet? That's the question. Well, spiritual master now uses modern technology. He's flying on the jet planes to go all over the world, but he's also available through the internet. Spiritual masters put their lectures on the internet. You can communicate with them by email through the internet. At least as far as my disciples are concerned, they can all write me and they can all hear my lectures and they can all ask me personal questions whenever they want. I'm completely accessible.
Що се отнася до моите ученици, те могат да ми пишат, да слушат моите лекции, аз мога да им отговарям на всяка.
This is what Prabhupada did.
Това, което е правил и Шила Прабхупада.
He was completely accessible for all of us all over the world.
Той е бил достъпен за нас по целия свят.
They started the Bhaktivedanta tape ministry.
Бхактивиданта Тейт Министри, това
In
са
those days, the medium was cassettes.
касети с записи на лекции на Шила
So you could get a subscription, a standing order with the Bhaktivedanta tape. Every week they'd send you a whole package of the latest lectures. I mean, it was great. Wow, when that package came, hot off the press, the latest lectures from Prabhupada, the latest morning walks on Venice Beach. Oh, that was really nectar.
Ако се абонирате, можете да получавате всяка седмица по един пакет с...
And then Prabhupada set up a movement where you could be guided by your temple president, by the sannyasis, by the GBCs. They were there as Prabhupada's representatives. You had them who were also giving you that connection with Prabhupada.
Шрила Прабхупада е казал, че също може да получаваме насоки от санясите, от GBC.
And Prabhupada was completely accessible. Any devotee who had an urgent need could write Prabhupada directly and get an answer.
И всеки преводач, който има спешна нужда, може директно да пише на Прабхупада за отговор.
So Prabhupada showed the concept of global village.
Така Шрила Прабхупада ни е показал концепцията за глобалното село.
Actually, the idea classically, yes, and when Prabhupada quoted one of our Goswamis, one of the 6 Goswamis, that if a spiritual master stays in one place, he can make 2 or 3 disciples.
Шрила Прабхупада цитира един от Госвамите, като каза, че ако духовен учител стои на едно място, той може
But if he travels all over the world, he can make unlimited disciples. So this concept of a traveling guru is given by our Goswamis. And Prabhupada was the first one who really did it in the Gaudiya Vaishnava line, traveling all over the world. He's the first one. And he did it quite successfully. Every single devotee, in my experience in ISKCON, all those years, every single devotee, we all felt that Prabhupada loved us. We all felt Prabhupada, the connection with Prabhupada.
С всички пренодани от изпълнение и през всички тези години и ние усещахме него връзката с Прабхупада, че той ни...
I was in a temple that Prabhupada never even came to.
Аз живеех в храм, в който Прабхупада никога дори не беше идвал.
I was in another temple where Prabhupada came, once.
Бях в друг храм, в който Прабхупада само веднъж беше посетил.
I was in quite a few temples when Prabhupada was here. And some of them he had come there once to that temple. Sometimes he had never come to the temple, but we all felt Prabhupada's presence. We all felt connected with Srila Prabhupada.
Въпреки че Шрила Прабхупада не беше посещавал тези храмове или беше идвал само веднъж, ние всички чувствахме силно връзката си с него.
Prabhupada taught us there are 2 types of ways in which the spiritual master is present.
Шрила Прабхупада ни учеше, че има 2 начина, по които може да се усети присъствието на духовния учител.
Vani and Vapu.
Вани и Вапо.
Vapu means his physical presence.
Вапо означава физическо присъствие.
When he's physically present there, you see. You can see him, you can ask him questions, etc.
Когато физически може
Hear his lectures, cook his breakfast, etc.
да слушаме от него, да му даваме служене.
The other form is called Vani Seva, vibrational presence. The spiritual master's manifestation in the form of his teachings, his instructions. That presence, Prabhupada said, is more important. Because that presence of the spiritual master never leaves. I was cursing myself that I was not getting more association with Prabhupada when he was on the planet. I was envious like anything of those devotees who were getting all that personal association. But how many times did Prabhupada see his spiritual master? Prabhupada said not more than 10 times. Not more than 10 times he actually saw his spiritual master. He first met him in 1922. He was initiated in 1933. His Guru Maharaj departed in 1936. So 22, that's 13 years. From the time he actually accepted, this is my guru, and the time his guru departed, there was a 13-year period in there. And Prabhupada only saw him less than once a year he saw him. Less than once a year he saw him.
Когато го приял в сърцето си до момента, в който е напуснал, той го вижда 10 пъти, което означава по-малко от веднъж годишно.
But who could be more connected with the spiritual master than Srila Prabhupada? It's simply a matter of, are you dedicated to the orders of your spiritual master? Do you take his instructions as your life and soul? If you do, then your spiritual master is residing in your heart. And you are residing in his heart. And there's never any separation even for a moment. Even for a yoctosecond. Heard of a yoctosecond? It's a very small unit of time. Smaller than a nanosecond, a yoctosecond. So, if you want to have that constant association with your Guru Maharaj, then you simply have to take his orders as your very life and soul. As Srila Prabhupada explains in his Chaitanya Charitamrita purport, one should always meditate on the order received from the spiritual master. And he should always worship the order he has received from his spiritual master. So in this way, one is never separated from Guru Maharaj. For all of eternity. Any other questions? Yeah.
How can we please our spiritual master in the best way?
The best way to this question was asked of Prabhupada in Atlanta, Georgia. I was there when this question was asked of Prabhupada. One of our book distribution leaders was there. He was heading up a brahmachari traveling party. And Prabhupada always said, if you want to please me in the best possible way, distribute books, distribute books, distribute books. So he asked Prabhupada, Prabhupada, what pleases you the best? And Prabhupada said, if you love Krishna. So, you just have to develop your love for Krishna. That's it. That will give the greatest pleasure to your spiritual master. Just try to love that beautiful boy, Krishna. Any other questions?
In the Nectar of Devotion are described the different types of happiness in performing devotional service, and one of them is kleshagni, which means to be relieved from all sufferings. But we see that sometimes when we engage in devotional service, our sufferings increase. So how to reconcile it?
How to
reconcile it?
How to understand it?
Yes, how to understand.
We see that, we hear that devotional service means to become completely blissful, but sometimes we see that engaging in devotional service, I become in more anxiety. So how to understand this properly? Actually, sometimes Krishna puts his devotees into difficult situations just so they can take more complete shelter of him.
Всъщност Кришна понякога поставя преданници в трудно положение, за да може те да приемат по-сериозно подклон при него.
One may feel a happiness because, oh, my material situation is very nice.
Човек може да се чувства щастлив, защото материалното му положение е много добро.
You may feel happy, but that's called superficial happiness.
Той може да се чувства щастлив, но това щастие е повърхностно.
It is not completely based on Krishna consciousness. It's based on your material surroundings.
То не се основава напълно на Кришна съзнание, по-скоро на материалното ни обкръжение.
So Krishna wants your happiness to be pure happiness, not tainted.
А Кришна иска нашето щастие да бъде чисто щастие, а не опетнено.
So out of kindness, he sometimes will make your material situation very difficult for you. So you can give up the idea of material happiness and find your happiness completely 100% in Krishna's lotus feet.
И да откриете своето щастие на 100% в лотосовите нозе на Кришна.
So instead of cursing Krishna, Krishna, why did you do this to me?
И вместо да проклинаме Кришна, Кришна, защо направи така с мен?
You say, thank you, Krishna. Thank you for blessing me with this difficulty.
Може да му кажете, Кришна, благодаря ти, че ме благослови с тази.
You know that prayer of Queen Kunti?
Знаете ли тази молитва на царица Кунти?
Vipadasham dritastashvat tatra tatra jagan guru vavanam darshanam yatsyada punarbhavadarshanam. Chapter 8 in the first canto of the Bhagavatam. You study that prayer. Kunti Devi is saying, my dear Lord Krishna, please put me into more and more difficulties. Because when I'm in such distress, I can do nothing but take shelter of you. When I take complete shelter of you, that means I will no longer see the repetition of birth and death. Therefore, let those calamities come again and again and again and again. Actually, a devotee is never in anxiety. The only time we're in anxiety is when we stop being devotees. What does that mean, to stop being a devotee? It means you forget Krishna. A devotee is someone who remembers Krishna 24 hours a day. So actually the only reason you're in distress is you're forgetting Krishna. You may say, but it's so hard to remember Krishna. That's not true. Whenever you forget Krishna, what to do? What to do when you forget Krishna? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. But I chanted my 16 rounds. Well, I'm in anxiety. But why did you stop at 16? Lord Chaitanya says, Kirtaniya Sadahari. You should always chant Hare Krishna. I found this is a very good technique. Whenever your mind is attacked by dualities, all you have to do is say, Hare Krishna. The dualities go away. Whenever your mind is attacked by dualities, just go, Hare Krishna. This technique works, I guarantee you. Whenever you're disturbed by the material nature, just go, Hare Krishna. Actually, even those two words are enough. One utterance of Hare Krishna, immediately the dualities will go away. You see? If that doesn't work, then do the whole mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And whenever Maya attacks your brain, just immediately say Hare Krishna. For some of us, that means we'll have to chant 24 hours a day, non-stop, because our mind's constantly being attacked by Maya. But that's all right. They may say you're a madman or you're a madwoman. Lord Chaitanya was also labeled as a madman by Prakashananda Saraswati. Why are you becoming insane, emotional bhakta? You should be studying Vedanta. He said, my spiritual master said, you're such a fool, you can't understand Vedanta. You just better keep chanting Hare Krishna. So whenever you're in anxiety, just chant Hare Krishna. This works. Believe me, it works. Then as anxiety comes, immediately, Hare Krishna, immediately anxiety has come. Of course, none of you are ever in anxiety, are you? So you don't need to chant, right? You're never in anxiety. No. No, we're all in anxiety. We're drowning in an ocean of anxiety in this Kali Yuga. Bulgaria means ocean of anxiety, isn't it? So therefore, in Bulgaria, we have very good facility to become Krishna conscious. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Any other questions? Yes, Prabhu.
How can we move from offensive chanting to attaining the real taste of it?
How can we move from offensive chanting to getting the real taste? I discovered an amazing instruction of Prabhupada recently. It's not widely known in ISKCON. Therefore, I'm spreading it around ISKCON now. I just happened to find it one day in the Veda base. An instruction to one lady disciple of Prabhupada named Balabi. Yeah. Prabhupada told her how to chant japa. Now, what do we normally say? Fix your mind on the sound vibration, right? That's what we normally say. That's the standard instruction. Fix your mind on the sound. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But Prabhupada told this Mataji a very amazing thing. He said, when you chant japa, feel the presence of Krishna. And if you can't do that, then fix your mind on the sound vibration. When I saw that, I went, wow. This is really where it's at. To feel the presence of Krishna when you chant Hare Krishna. You see. So how can I feel Krishna's presence? Is Krishna present? Of course he is. Krishna and his name are the same. So when I'm chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna is there. If I don't feel his presence, what am I? I'm an ungracious host giving the cold shoulder to my guest. If a guest visits your house, and you ignore him, what are you? You're rude. You're uncouth. You're uncivilized. If a guest visits your home, you welcome the guest. You make him feel welcome.
Карате го да се чувства
Here's a place to sit.
добре дошъл.
Can I get you a drink of water?
Чаша вода.
Can I cook you a lunch? What would you like to eat?
Бих искал да ти изготвя нещо за обяд. Какво искаш?
That's how to properly receive a guest.
Ето това е правилният начин за приветствие.
So Krishna has come as guest to the home of your heart.
Кришна идва като гост в дома на сърцето.
So how will you receive him?
И как да го приемем?
You pretend like he's not there?
Да се преструваме, че той не е там.
Mechanically chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna. When I get this over with, Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Are you going to understand the Supreme Lord has so mercifully appeared right here in the form of Nam Avatar? Krishna himself is manifested right here for me.
И ще разберем, че Кришна се проявява тук пред мен като Нама Аватара.
So let me feel how he is present.
Нека почувствам как присъства.
Let me appreciate how he is present.
Нека оценя неговото присъствие.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Thank you, Krishna. Thank you, Krishna, for coming as Nam Avatar.
Благодаря ти, Кришна, че дойде като Нама Аватар.
If you chant like this,
ако възпяваш по този начин,
those offenses will go millions and millions of miles away.
Тогава всички оскърбления ще се отдалечат на милиони и милиони мили.
Always remember the person Krishna has come.
Винаги помни, че личността Кришна е дошла.
He is blushing you with his sangha.
И той те благославя с твоята санга.
So now you must receive him with full appreciation.
И сега трябва да го приема с пълно.
Any other question?
Is it a problem if working for Krishna is more attractive to us than preaching?
Is it a problem if working with Krishna is more attractive than preaching? If you're by your work, you're helping the preachers and you're helping the preaching, that is okay.
Ако посредством своята работа ти помогнеш на проповедниците, тогава това е добре.
That is all right. That is also preaching.
Това също е вид проповядване.
If by your work you're assisting the preachers,
Ако със своята работа ти асистираш на проповедниците,
it's like someone, he may not be so inclined to go out on book distribution, but he loves to cook. He loved to feed the book distributors. Keep them all fired up with nice prasad. You see. Then that is also preaching. Just like in the war, there are the frontline soldiers shooting the bullets on the front line. And there's so many other military personnel who are supporting that activity in the front line. So they are all fighting the war, not just the frontline soldiers. But we encourage everybody to get out on the front line sometimes. It's really sweet out there. It's really nectar out there. Take some books and go out there, get out in the street, go door to door. Get the nectar. I mean, it's the ultimate bliss to go out there on the front line with all the bullets flying, being protected by Krishna from all the bullets of Maya flying everywhere. You see, there's nothing sweeter than doing Harinam or book distribution. Nothing sweeter. So do your work for Krishna. That's very nice. But sometimes get out there on the front line and do Harinam and book distribution. Actually, Prabhupada told me every day when I joined I was a brahmachari in our Austin temple. He said every day go out for Sankirtan. That was Harinam Sankirtan. He told us to go out every day and do Sankirtan.
Когато бях брамачари, Шрила Прабхупад ни каже всеки ден да излизаме на Харинам Санкиртан.
So we had one devotee though, he didn't do Sankirtan.
Имахме един преодан, който не
He worked.
Той работеше.
He was an incense salesman.
Той продаваше инсенс.
And he liked to do business, wheeling and dealing, making money.
И обичаше да прави бизнес, да печели пари.
His name was Divija Hari Prabhu.
Той се казваше Двиджа Хари Прабhu.
He's my very dear god brother, Divija Hari Prabhu. Now he is departed.
Сега той напусна.
But he's actually a great sadhu, this Divija Hari Prabhu.
Той всъщност е много голям саду.
But we were all going out and preaching and he was doing business.
Всички ние ходихме да проповядваме, докато той вършеше бизнеса си.
But by his preaching, by his business, he supported the whole, made enough money to support the whole temple.
Бизнес той караше достатъчно пари да покрие целия храм.
So we could go out and preach and not worry about collecting money. We could just go out and make devotees, you see. He was paying the whole overhead of the temple by his business. So you can, was Divija Hari Prabhu not a preacher? No, he was the greatest preacher. Because he was supporting the whole temple. So if one works for Krishna or preaches, they're both on the absolute platform. Any other question? Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada had said on different places, seemingly contradictory things that we chant in order to be able to render service, and another said that we render service so that we be able to chant more.
So she's heard that Prabhupada said that sometimes he would say chant so you can render better service. Sometimes he said render service so that you can chant. So which one is true? They're both true. Prabhupada never says anything that's contradictory. But Krishna consciousness is transcendental to mundane logic. It's not intellectual, it's transcendental. So the fact is, the nicer you chant, the better you can do service. And the more sincerely you do service, and the chanting will become better. So which one should I do? Should I chant or should I do service? Do both. Work it from both ends, you see. It's like in a war, there is some enemy located right here, you see. This enemy wants to this force, this army wants to defeat this enemy army here, you see. So they can attack them like this to defeat them. But let's say this is the enemy army right here, you see. So they can attack to try to defeat that enemy army. This is what happened in World War II, actually, the Germans, the Nazis. The Allied forces came from the west, and the Russians came from the east, and the Germans were stuck in the middle of it, and they were completely, Nazis were wiped out. So in this way, you work it from both sides, you see. You chant to have better service, and you do better service to have better chanting. And that way you work it from both ends, and that way Maya is defeated that much faster. Just like Hitler was hit from two sides, and he was finished. He had to commit suicide in the bunker. He was finished. So in this way you work it from both sides. Chant very nicely and serve very nicely. Okay, one more question. Okay.
Since we cannot remember our relationship with Krishna in the spiritual world, how can we possess the desire to do this, to go back home to Godhead? And
So if I don't know specifically what is my sarup in the spiritual world, then how can I get an impetus to even go back?
ако аз не знам какво е моето взаимоотношение с Кришна в духовния свят, как изобщо мога да намеря стимул да се върна?
Unless I know specifically who I am and what is my rasa with Krishna, then why should I even want to surrender?
Ако аз специфично не знам точно каква е моята раса с Кришна, защо изобщо да се опитам да се отдам? Как ще се опитам да се отдам?
That's an interesting question.
Този въпрос е интересен.
Krishna, I will surrender if you agree to tell me what my rasa is. In other words, it's a business deal.
Кришна, ще се отдам, ако се съгласиш да ми кажеш каква ми е раса. Това е като една сделка, бизнес.
That means you don't want to surrender to God. You want to trying to do a business deal with God. My dear Lord, if you will tell me what is my sarup, then I will agree to surrender. Otherwise, we say in English, no dice. I won't do it. Is it? That is not unconditionalist. That is not surrender. That is a business deal. By that business mentality, that mercantile mentality, you never realize what is your relationship with Krishna. The only way to realize your relationship with Krishna is to give up this wheeling and dealing mentality. Someone has to be intelligent and realize how much I am suffering in the cycle of birth and death. And understanding that the only way I can become free of my suffering is to regain my eternal relationship of service to Krishna. You don't need to know what is your eternal relationship with Krishna to surrender to Krishna. All you need to know is, as Lord Chaitanya said, Jivara Swarupahai Krishnara Nityadas, the constitutional position of a living entity is that he is the eternal servant of Krishna. That should be sufficient. You should simply know that you're the eternal servant of Krishna. And what that specific service is, that will be revealed to you in due course. But to say, I won't surrender unless it's revealed to me now, then you're not surrendered. Unconditional surrender. So if you're happy, are you happy in this material world? So that should be enough impetus right there. I'm miserable. I'm going through birth, death, old age, and disease again and again and again. I can't stand this place. It's horrible. I have to get old, sick, and die again and again and again and again and again. Sometimes a pauper, sometimes a king, sometimes a demigod, sometimes a dog. I'm sick of this repetition of birth and death.
Веднъж като цар, друг път като просек, веднъж като човек, друг път като...
That should be enough impetus
Това трябва да е достатъчен стимул за нас.
to get free from the suffering condition
За да се освободим от страданията.
and to come back into a relationship of perfect love with the Supreme Person.
И да възстановим взаимоотношенията си на съвършена любов върху.
That is not enough impetus for you?
Това не е ли достатъчен стимул за теб?
That is not enough?
Не е ли достатъчно? Yes, but how practically one can develop the desire to realize that he is a spiritual soul and he has a relationship with Krishna if he does not remember it?
That's what I just told you.
Това е което ти казах тук що.
Are you hearing me or not?
Това, което говори или не?
You're suffering like anything in the present condition.
Ти страдаш в сегашното състояние.
And when you realize your eternal identity as Krishna's servant, that means you become free of all suffering.
И когато осъзнаеш
You realize your eternal identity, which is full of knowledge and full of bliss.
и осъзнаеш ти вечно изпълнен с блаженство и знание,
Why that isn't enough?
тогава защо това да не е достатъчно?
Why one should think, well, unless I know specifically what that identity is, then I'm not interested.
Защо ако не знам специфично своята идентичност, тогава не проявявам интерес.
Just like I told you, you have received a huge inheritance from a long-lost relative.
Например, ако аз ти кажа, че си получила голямо наследство от свой...
And I have come as a representative of the DHL company to present you with this cashier's check for a huge sum of money.
И аз съм дошъл като представител на куриер да ти дам този чек за голяма сума пари.
And you tell me, my dear DHL man, tell me exactly how much the check is for. Otherwise, I don't want it.
И ти казваш, моля те, кажи ми за каква...
Do you mean to tell me that's what you would say
Кажи ми точно
to the DHL man? Unless you tell me to the penny exactly how much that cashier's check is for, I don't want it.
освен ако ми кажеш до последната стотинка точно за каква сума е този чек, аз не го искам, няма да го приема.
But my dear lady, it's an astronomical sum of wealth. I don't know the amount. I just know it's an astronomical sum of wealth.
Но аз не знам точната сума, но знам, че е астрономическа.
Will you take it or not?
Ще го вземеш или няма да го
No, unless I know the exact amount, I won't take it.
Не знам точната сума, няма да го
I mean, this is ridiculous.
Това е смешно направо.
I'll take any amount. Just give me anything. I'll take it.
Каква ти да е сумата, аз ще взема. Просто какво ти да е, дайте ми я.
I don't even know the amount.
Знам сумата каква е.
So why are you thinking I have to know the amount?
Защо си мислиш, трябва да знам точната сума?
I have to know exactly what is my identity in the spiritual world.
Трябва да знам точно каква е
You see?
идентичността.
This is not very intelligent.
Това не е много.
One should know there's an unlimited great good fortune is now being bestowed upon me.
Човек трябва да знае, да разбира, че безкрайно
What it is in its full details, that I will know when I fully realize it. When I open the envelope, then I'll see exactly how much the check is for, you see.
когато отворя чек, аз ще разбера точно за каква сума е.
But to say, no, I won't accept the envelope unless you tell me how much the amount of the check is, that's not very intelligent.
Но да кажеш, няма да взема плика, защото искам да знам точно каква е сумата на чек.
Take the check,
Това не е интелигентно. Вземи
and
чек
then you'll find out.
и след това ще разбереш.
You say, well, I don't know, maybe I won't like my rasa, maybe it's not a good deal.
Човек може да каже, да, аз
I don't want to go back to God, I may not like my rasa.
искам да се връщам при Бога, защото може да не ми хареса моята раса.
But I guarantee you, no matter what your identity is in the pastimes of Krishna, it's going to be millions and billions of times better than anything you get in this world, even if you're a Brahman chief.
Но аз мога да ви кажа, че каквато и да ви идентичността в заблюдението на Кришна, това ще е милиони пъти по-добре от всяко едно друго.
But what should it matter to you what you are in Krishna's
Дори да сте
pastime?
брама. Така че какво
You should simply know I am suffering like anything in the cycle of birth and death, not engaged in my actual identity as Krishna's servant. Now let me get out of this insane condition and come back to my actual identity.
Трябва просто да знаем, че ние страдаме много в този материален свят и
That should be your move. Does that make sense to you? Okay. All right, we'll stop here. I said that was the last question. Now you can save it for the morning. Hare Krishna.
7:15.